Hey folks, it's Doodly Squatch here, coming in with another episode. This one's off another comment. Hopefully my editor can find it, hint hint, where they talk about a previous comment I had made talking about how I like to put the Venom symbiote on things and do those kinds of drawings. So this time I thought I'd give it a little spin. The commenter suggested Muppets, so yeah, let's give it a shot. Alright, here we go. So I chose Fozzie. Fozzie's one of my favorite Muppets. You'll have to excuse my voice. I'm getting over a cold and I had some dental work done. So my face feels awful, but I'm all hopped up on painkillers, so maybe that'll make for a good episode. We'll see. Anyways, back to Fozzie. When I was a lad, I loved Fozzie. I think I watched Muppet Babies before I ever really watched any Muppets. So he was always kind of funny on that one. And the idea of him having a symbiote is really funny too. Well, one of my kids hopped in and said hello, so I had to stop recording. So this is getting all kinds of crazy. Anywho, I'm just going to keep it raw, whatever. But yeah, the thought of Fozzie being some kind of like monster was really fun. Plus, just putting a tongue on him. But yeah, when I was a kid, I always liked Fozzie because he told such bad jokes. And I love telling just dumb jokes and doing the old, yay, waka waka waka, you know. Because that, you know, in that sense, I'm very much like him, where I think I laugh at my jokes more than others, and I'm just pleased to make them, even if other people don't find them funny. Well, yeah, it's been a fair bit since I've drawn any kind of Muppets. I have a friend that usually has some kind of Muppet requests. I suppose I did do a Kermit for the first video of my YouTube channel, but whatever. I'm a fibber, I guess. Well, yeah, and then just the idea of Venom, you know, affecting your personality. You think of like Spider-Man 3 and the emo dancing Spider-Man. Oof. But, you know, what would that do to Fozzie? Would his humor get really dark? Would it make him more of a George Carlin or like a like a Doug Stanhope? I don't know. I'd like to think, you know, he'd still, his humor would still be clean but darker. I don't know. What's yellow and can't swim? The school bus. Ah! Waka waka waka. That sort of thing. Yeah, and drawing Venom, I've always loved drawing Venom, and when I was a kid, I would, of course, use up pretty much all the ink in my pens coloring him in, because he's all black, and you know, I wasn't very subtle then, didn't know about value and shading and all that, but it's fun to apply here, be able to put all those teeth in and figure out some of those little subtle things, plus using bits of Fozzie, you know, definitely needed a reference image just for color mostly here, just because I have trouble, especially with oranges. You know, a lot of times what I think is orange will turn out to be like a muddy kind of green, or that sort of thing. Let's see, what else have I been up to? I recently was on a podcast. That was kind of fun. It's called Dead and Laughing. It was presented by an Instagrammer that I follow named Crude the Corpse. And that was fun. I'd never done, it was almost like a video call, except it was on Instagram Live. And chatting with him, he's a spooky guy. He wears a big mask when he's broadcasting, and it was kind of funny because, you know, big scary guy, but he had this cat that kept harassing him while we were talking, and so we'd be talking about dark art and metal and la di. Oh, hello, kitty. And so I'd say that's a pretty apropos example of most people that are into horror, we're just big old teddy bears, and another callback to Fozzie here. He's just a big old teddy bear. So even if he did have the Venom symbiote, I think he'd still just be cute and funny. But it was a fun interview. I love to gab. Here I am, recording myself gabbing, even when my head's throbbing with. I have a temporary crown in right now, and it's not the greatest fit, and I think it's just been messing with my inner ear and just causing havoc on my nerves. So all my teeth on that side are just mad at me, and I've just been sleeping a lot. So it's not awesome. So hopefully that gets fixed soon. I'm gonna go into the dentist tomorrow, but whatever. The whole joy of being human, I guess. Huh? And then also with Venom, I think I was in late grade school, early middle school, when the Venom separation anxiety comics were coming out, where he was splitting off into a bunch of different symbiotes, and the idea of multiple symbiotes was kind of new to me. So I had a lot of fun making up my own versions of Venom. Some of them were kind of stupid. I had one called Liquid Venom, so it was almost like Hydro Man, but Venom. And so it's Venom's already fairly liquid, and his powers are pretty much what I envisioned that would be. So it was kind of redundant, but that's another thing when you're a kid making up superheroes or coming up with stories. Oftentimes they're just rip-offs of other stories, because we're not the best at figuring that stuff out, at least at that age, unless you're really creative. But what kind of things did you guys get into when you were kids? I don't know. Anybody make up a superhero and draw comics and all that? I don't know. I think everyone, at least every boy, I don't know, just watching my boys, there's a stage where they have a lot of interesting ideas, and it feels like they could create a whole world, and usually right after then is when they get into some kind of media that just replaces all their ideas. For one son it was Minecraft. Everything turned into Minecraft after that. Or another one of my boys, lots of fun original ideas, and then I could tell he was just riffing off Five Nights at Freddy's. So it's funny how, I don't know, you have good ideas until you find a favorite thing, and then it becomes that. You can tell in my art, if you were looking through my old sketchbooks, you can tell when I found Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and Invader Zim and all that, because it quickly devolves into a lot of that. Took a fair amount of time to hop off that wagon. But I'd say, in any creative thing, that's probably the case, where you find what you like and you copy what you like until you figure out what about that thing you like is what makes it the thing you like. Whether it's style, palette, subject matter, that sort of thing. And then once you figure that out, you learn how to sing that song in your own voice. I think that's where art styles can come from. Obviously everything is influenced by things around it, so there's not much that's gonna just happen in a vacuum. Same thing with comedy or writing. Everyone has influences, things they were inspired by, and so unless it's unless you're out and out just tracing something, I'd say you're pretty good expressing yourself, even if it's a lot like another person's thing. I think as long as you acknowledge that, then you're good. Phone's going off. Naughty bear. Very unprofessional today, Mr. Squatch. We gotta tighten things down in the old studio. Don't worry, editor. You'll make it perfect. Yes, you will. Using the lasso tool to select all of Venom here, and then coloring him in without smudging the lines too bad. That's another fun thing, learning digital art. Honestly, I feel like I'm learning new things every time I make a video, or at least work on it. It's been kind of interesting seeing where my mindset goes now that oftentimes when I'm drawing, I know I'm going to be recording the process and then posting it to the internet, for people to scrutinize and all that. So it's funny seeing how my sort of brain works. Oftentimes, even just during the sketching time, I'm like, is this going to be good enough? But either way, it's still just the joy of drawing. I love art. I love just chilling out in my office and doodling and catching up on whatever shows I haven't watched, or listening to podcasts that I enjoy. It's very much my leisure time. So even though I'm attempting to springboard my leisure time into something more interesting, on the internet where people can participate as well, I'm still trying just to have fun with it. Trying to branch out, like with these backgrounds. I'm trying to have not just a grayscale background. I want to have interesting looking things. Got some upcoming drawings that should be fun. I've got a self-portrait coming up that I did. I usually try and do a new self-portrait each year, just for fun, as an exercise, see how I see myself, honestly. Yeah, but keep up with those comments. I love getting ideas from you guys of what to draw. It's always fun to draw from a different well. And here we go, waka waka waka. There's some scary lettering. Not much for using fonts. I like to just hand letter things, even though it's kind of messy. Doesn't look overly professional, but anywho, that's the drawing. That's my spiel. Sorry, I'm sick. Try and get better before my next recording. Anywho, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you'd like to see in other videos, and I appreciate you. Thank you much. We'll see you next time.